Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is a historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being, and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant. And we are called to answer the call of love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. As we gather, we acknowledge that Arlington Street Church occupies the ancestral homeland of the Massachusetts. By making this land acknowledgement, we recognize, honor, and affirm the sovereignty of all First Nations peoples.
Good morning, everyone. Our opening song is called Farthest Field by David Dobson, and it can be a sing-along, so I'm going to teach it to you real quick. The key, Hyung Ju. So the words are printed in your order of service, Farthest Field, and the verses are kind of a call and response. Let's demonstrate that. Choir, would you sing back to me? I'll sing the opening. So I'll go, there is a land. So it kind of goes like that. I sing it, and then you can sing that part. High on a hill, and then the third line where I am going, always kind of the voices come together, and we sing that at the same time. You'll kind of pick that up. And let me sing you the chorus, which is, oh, walk with me, under the chorus, and I'll have you sing it back to me. It goes like this. Walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed. Let's try that together. And Walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed. When one day we wend our way up to the farthest field. Let's try that. When one day we wend our way up to the farthest field. Great, so sing along, add some harmonies as you so feel called. There is a land high on a hill where I am going. There is a voice that calls to me. The air is sweet. The grass is wave. The wind is blowing away up in the farthest field. Oh, here's the chorus. Walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed. When one day we wend our way up to the farthest field, the sun will rise, the sun will set, across the mountains, and we will live in beauty there. The fragrant flowers, the days and hours will not be counted, and peaceful songs will fill the air. Oh, walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed. When one day we wend our way up to the farthest field, I know one day I'll leave my home here in this valley and climb up to that field so fair. And when I'm called and counted in that final tally, I know that I will see you there. Oh, walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed. When one day we wend our way up to the farthest field. Oh, my dear friends, I truly love to hear your voices lifted up in radiant song. Though through the years we all have made our separate choices. We've ended up where we belong. Oh, walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed. When one day we wend our way up to the farthest field. Oh, walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed. When one day we wend our way up to the farthest field.
Beautiful. Dear ones, welcome. Welcome to our Zoomers. Welcome to the congregation gathered in person. On Halloween throughout Latin America, people go to market to buy special food for the souls of the dead, gifts for the souls of the dead, which they bring to the cemetery. They also bring buckets and scrub buckets to wash the graves, rakes and hoes to clear away the weeds, and new flowers to plant. All through the day, the cemetery resembles a huge picnic ground as families are reunited in remembrance of their dead. That night, they gather to pray, sing, and tell stories by candlelight at kitchen table altars filled with fruit and photographs of their loved ones. This is called El Día de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. In the late 1980s, I spent 2 Halloweens in Peru. My Peruvian friends urged me to bring home this tradition to Arlington Street, and ever since, we have celebrated each year on the Sunday closest to Halloween, All Souls and All Saints Days. Today, let us remember those who have gone before us, celebrating the way their lives touched and changed us. Zoomers, you are encouraged to bring a photo or a memento of loved ones who have died into your Hollywood Square. If you're here in person, if you have a photograph or anything you'd like to add to the altar, please feel free to bring it up during the first hymn. Thank you, Queen Cheryl, for all of this. It's beautiful. And really, what better Sunday to welcome a baby to our community than today? What a joy to welcome Baby Haven's many guests. Her fan club is filling up the front of the church. Give me a wave as I call out your name, because I want to know who everybody is. I want to welcome Mommy Brooke's dad, Grandpa Hefe. There's Hefe, great. Welcome, Hefe. Mommy Brooke's mom, Mary. Great. Grandpa Craig. Good. Daddy Tommy's parents, Mark and Barbara. So great to have you here. Auntie Kiki and Auntie Kate. Great. Tio Pepe and Tiki, they're on Zoom this morning. Good morning, friends. We're so glad you could be with us. And I want to welcome Haven's godparents, Frank Lento and his fiancé, Nick. Where are you all? Great. And to Bailey and her husband, Nick. Nick is popular in this group. That's great. And welcome to Haven's 2-year-old friend, Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. Super glad you're here. Welcome. Great. This is going to be wonderful. We're so glad you've come. Welcome home to our beloved Zoe Arcuri and to her mom, Tammy. Zoe, we've missed you a lot while you've been sick, and we're so glad you're better. Welcome home, sweetheart. We love you. It was scary, huh? Yeah. You. You're frisky now. Yeah, I see you. You're frisky now. Do you want to get up and show everyone your costume? It's pretty great. Woo! Yeah. It's awesome. You look great, so thank you. Welcome to today's volunteers, to our greeters and ushers, to the tech team. Art and Rich, thank you so much, Kemi. To Jen Eno, standing in for her lovely wife, Hala Hazar, who's sick this morning. Jen, that was changing on a dime. Welcome. Thank you, sweetheart. Representing the worship team. Our musicians, I want to say a special welcome to Joe Della Penna, our jazz pianist and jazz artist in residence. Joe, give a wave. You'll hear from Joe in a few minutes. Thank you, Joe. Always wonderful to have you here. And the Arlington Street Church Choir, directed by Mark David Buckles. Great to see you, friends. Thank you. Reverend Beth is really all over the place today. I think those of you in the Zoom room see her there now. She'll be in and out. Reverend Beth, we're so glad you're here. Friends, the sanctuary is mask optional. I'm going to encourage you to find your comfort level. Masks are available from the ushers. For those of you who are new to Arlington Street, a very special welcome to you. If you're here in person, there are welcome cards in the pew racks. Please hand yours to an usher or drop it in the basket at the great doors as you leave. For those of you in the Zoom room, please fill out a connection card. The link is in the chat and includes the option to request a link to a recording of today's sermon. Since we can't greet all of you in person after the service, Reverend Beth and I would love to follow up with a virtual hello. Whether you have been coming here for years or today is your first time at Arlington Street, welcome home. Morning, Jen.
Everybody. I'm usually the one behind the camera, but today I'm in front of the microphone. Shout out to my wife at home who's sick. Hala, please send her good vibes. I'm her sub today. If you're here in person, there are printed copies of the order of service available from the ushers at the great doors. If you're zooming in, the order of service will appear in the chat, or you can download it on the homepage at ascboston.org. Also at ascboston.org, you'll find a link to Sermon Bingo. Feel free to play along while Rev Kim preaches. As we begin our greetings, I invite the Zoomers and those in person with the device handy to please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're zooming in from. And now, Rich is going to turn the camera on the incarnate, in-person congregation as we wave at each other, as well as our friends in the Zoom room. And all in the Zoom room, please wave and smile back. Hello, friends. Let's all engage in that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart.
Hi, baby. Hi, friends. Welcome. Great to see you. Congratulations. Great. With all the world, we celebrate the coming of new lives. Our joy in them, their promise, our love, and our commitment to their care. It is not enough that children be born. They must also be received. For the future of children and community alike depends on our devotion to them. Haven, how shall we welcome you to the world? We cannot express how happy we are that you have come. All the caresses of our eyes and hands cannot measure the fullness of our love. We cannot hold you close enough. She likes what Queen Cheryl did. We welcome you into the family of humankind. We welcome you into this community. In you, we all share a new life. In your life, our lives will be continued. May you have a healthy body. May you have the courage and grace to do whatever is required of you and what you most desire to do. May you have willingness to learn and passion to pursue the truth. May you be tender and fearless. May you love the beauty of the earth and all our creations. May you know the companionship of beloveds, the meanings of generosity and compassion and service, the love of many, and the love of one above all others. And now we call upon your family and your friends to serve you and to nurture your growth. We are responsible for guarding your life, your freedom, and your opportunities. Today we think of the other children who will share the life of your generation, whose welfare is inseparable from your own. May we all help to make a more just and peaceful world for you and for all whose lives are linked with yours. Frank and Bailey, move just a little bit to the front so we can all get a good eye on you. You have an important role here. You have been honored with the invitation to take a special role in Haven's life. You are called to widen her circle of love, to add your care for her to that of her parents. You are charged with enhancing the development of her moral character and the care of her soul, with spoiling her extravagantly and with loving her unconditionally. Do you agree to answer this sacred invitation? Brooke and Tommy, will you name your daughter?
Haven Viola Simmons.
Haven Viola Simmons. And a flower appears. You're just magical. This water is a symbol of life and our connection with all living things. This flower is a symbol of life's unfolding and of love. Haven, I touch you in blessing with this flower and this water. On your brow, that you may think freely and clearly. On your heart, that you may love deeply. On your hands, that you may serve the ideals of truth and beauty. And over your whole body, that you may come to realize the fullness of your unique humanity, your divine individuality. River, do you have a gift for our baby? Here he comes. This is a gift for baby Haven. Thank you, River. Crocheted by Claire Humphrey during worship services. Beautiful baby blanket. Thanks, my friend. Oh, that's beautiful. And thank you to Claire. We're kind of all matchy. It's really beautiful. I love that. Yeah. By this service of dedication, we commit ourselves to the nurture of this child. May we be worthy guardians of her young life. May we build a community in which she will grow old, surrounded by beauty, embraced by love, and cradled in the arms of peace. And let the congregation say, Amen. Amen. Congratulations.
We can all applaud. And now please rise in body and spirit for our first hymn. Please rise. Our first hymn is We Laugh, We Cry. It's number 354 in the gray hymnal. It's also printed in the order of service and in the chat. It will be led by Beck and the Arlington Street Choir.
And now we remember those who are not here with us. In Latin America, at gatherings for social change, there's a tradition of calling out the names of the dead and disappeared. After each name is called, the people respond presente, meaning present. The presente is an affirmation of the ways in which we carry forward the purposes and meanings of the lives of our dead. Presente. They are here in spirit, within us, and with us, and among us. I invite you now to join me in a presente for those whom we have loved and lost, invoking their spirits and their blessings. Please call out the names of your dead. Put their names in the chat, and let us respond together. Presente. 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 And now let us say together, Presente. Amen.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow in the chat. Zoomers are invited to light silent candles at home. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up front to the right of the Gleason podium. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how precious this beloved community is. We need one another, whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A candle of sorrow from the Arlington Street congregation. After the week of terror in the wake of the mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine, a candle of sorrow for the people of Lewiston and for all of Maine. We're thinking of Betsy Shearer and her partner Kevin as they mourn Steve, a former member of Boston's Deaf Bowling Night. A mixed candle from the Arlington Street community. On the eve of the inauguration of Gary W. Jenkins as the first African American and first openly gay president of Bates College, a horrific tragedy occurred in Lewiston, Maine. Lewiston is the city where Bates has been a vital part of the town since its founding in 1855. This latest mass shooting, which has claimed the lives of 18 people and left injured 13 others, is the 565th such incident this year. Instead of celebrating President Jenkins' accomplishments, we mourn with the families and friends of the victims. May they all find peace and solace in the love they once shared. A final candle of ongoing concern for the strife and suffering of so many on all sides of the conflict in the Middle East. This is not going to be resolved quickly, and in the meantime, the grief and pain that people are experiencing is profound and devastating. We are particularly praying for those that have no voice in this fight and cannot save themselves.
And some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
An October 28th candle of joy for Reverend Kim in honor of the 39th anniversary of her ordination and the 35th year at Arlington Street. And today we celebrate her birthday as well. I know you're up there. Happy birthday. Wishing you a wonderful day with deep gratitude and love beyond the beyond. Signed, your congregation. A final candle of joy for Baby Haven on this celebratory day. Welcome to this beloved community.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts.
as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación, y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a lo que comprometemos con vivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor, y ayudamos los unos a los otros. For our next hymn, please rise in spirit and in body for our hymn number 1001. Please rise. It's in the teal hymnal and in your order service and in the chat. If you're following along in the hymnal here, when it gets to the end, you repeat all the way back from the beginning. And this is led by our choir.
Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustly trees. They are in the groaning woods. They are in the crying grass. They are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They are in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in this crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters.
Our youngest daughter's ancient chocolate lab died earlier this month. Toby has been a fixture in Jessie's life for almost half her life. Her heart is absolutely shattered. She feels like she's going to die too. She couldn't bring herself to tell Jenny, one of her closest friends, who also loved Toby, "If I tell her," she said, "then he'll really be dead." She spent an entire Saturday lying in Toby's bed, crying so hard she could hardly breathe. Deep grief, great love. I know this kind of grief, and chances are very good that you do too. Grief that is inconsolable, not that you'd want to be consoled. You just want whoever or whatever you lost to be restored to you, someone or something without whom life will never, ever be the same. Somehow, it gets better. Somehow, people survive far worse than anything we can imagine and go on to choose life again. This morning, let's spend some time with how we might navigate grief and how we might help others who are grieving. Grief comes like a wild storm, a tempest of emotions, or like a cold snap, a sudden freeze. Suddenly we are suspended in our lives, feeling numb, feeling nothing, dead. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross famously named 5 stages of grieving: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial, this can't be happening. Anger, who's to blame? Bargaining, make this not be so. I'll do anything. Acceptance, I can't change this, and it isn't going away. But not enough people read the fine print to understand that what Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross meant to say was not that these stages were necessarily sequential. Any of them could arise at any moment, she said, for no apparent reason. It's hard to sleep, or all we want to do is sleep. Sometimes the thought of food is distasteful. My friend Amy was so undone by a breakup she initiated that for weeks and weeks, all she could eat was ice cream and popcorn. The emotional pain is so profound, it's physical, or we feel nothing. All of it, as abnormal as it is normal. And the only way out is through. The only way out is through. At some point, I realized that grief was always going to be a part of the landscape of my life, that at any moment I could be recalled to the sheer sense of devastation as if a particular loss were happening again for the first time. Grief is cumulative. One of my favorite quotes is from Welsh poet Dylan Thomas, who said, "After the first death, there is no other." One of Kemp and my most extraordinary hikes out of the Grand Canyon was in the middle of the night, the trail illuminated entirely by the light of the supermoon. We had 12 teenagers along, among whom all trace of cynicism had evaporated days before when they stepped to the edge of the rim for the first time. In between, it had been an amazing trip, despite, or perhaps because of, a few challenges. The kids had gotten lost and found, yes, all of them. We'd spent one night all too cold, and they ended up cuddling like a pile of puppies. But we watched as they fell in love with the canyon, its vastness, its silence, its beauty. They played in Bright Angel Creek and Ribbon Falls and stretched out on warm rocks, sunning themselves on cliffs high above the Colorado River. They helped each other. They laughed till they cried. They were free and wild. And on that last moonlit night, we almost danced out of the canyon. I remember looking up to see one of the boys, Jacob, just about to top out. Jacob, who had come to school on Halloween in full makeup and drag, dressed as his idol, Lady Gaga. Jacob, who more often than not was in trouble with the dean of students for some high-spirited hijinks. On the trip, he had emerged as a leader, funny and kind and strong. On that anointed night, calling back to us in the moonlight, his voice echoing in the pre-dawn silence, he was exultant. On the plane home to Boston, he began to work on his senior chapel talk with the other students, helping, all talking at once, trying to put some words on the experience they'd just shared. Jacob's mother met him at Logan, and he hugged everyone hard, Kem and me last. It had been magical. We'd see each other back at school soon. There was yet more magic to make together. But Jacob had bipolar disorder. He went from so fine to so not fine so fast. On a family vacation just 3 weeks later, in a drug-fueled tsunami of mania, he jumped from his hotel room to his death. At Concord Academy, students spilled out across the chapel lawn, weeping. Our kids, the canyoneers, had formed a tight circle, impossibly one short. Kem and I staggered and righted ourselves, mostly. But even now, years later, when the supermoon rises, we remember our beautiful boy. And the knife in my heart is if it's the moment we learned of his death all over again. In my mind, his voice will always echo off the canyon walls. Grief comes, it fades, we move on, and then suddenly it's there again. Sometimes it's deeply personal, sometimes it's collective. There are early spring sounds and smells that can bring me right back to the first days of the COVID shutdown, when we said goodbye to a normal we would never know again. The fury of the war's rage, natural and unnatural disasters, and the wanton degradation of the planet, the spoils of greed, call each of us in our own way to fear, despair, and grief. Grief calls for compassion, kindness, and no judgment. There will be scars. But besides bearing witness to the passage of time, the great healer, what can we do for one another as we grieve? Briefly, 6 things. 1, share stories. My grandfather Charlie was very old when he died, but hundreds of people turned out to honor his memory. He loved people, and during visiting hours at the funeral home, all kinds shared their stories of him. The teacher he'd taught with at East Boston High School, the waitress whose daughter had gone through a rough patch, the widower he'd stopped by to visit each week for so many weeks, and so many more. These stories were so precious to me, squeezing a little more of Charlie out of life before surrendering him to death. We can help people who are grieving by sharing stories. to call. I was deeply touched by a young man who stood in the greeting line after the service here one Sunday morning and started talking with the older woman behind him. She had just learned that one of her grandchildren was quite sick, and she was a bit undone. Spontaneously, he tore off the corner of his order of service, grabbed a pen from the nearby pew, and scribbled his number on it. "If you want to talk," he said, "I'm always awake. Call me." Number 3, show up. Do not give people who are grieving space. They already have way more space than they want, the gaping hole left behind where their loved one once lived. But here's the trick. It goes better if you're stealthy about it. Rather than saying, "Would you like to eat together? Shall we go to the movies?" Because really the answer is almost certainly no, my person is dead. Thank you very much. I don't want to do anything ever again. Try, "I'm picking up Thai food on my way home from work. I should be there by 6 o'clock. Or, "I'm going to a matinee tomorrow. I'll swing by at 1 and pick you up." If they just can't make up, don't give up. Just keep offering. Keep showing up. 4, pay attention to the milestones. Is it their first birthday, first holidays, first anniversary without their loved one? Assume nothing. These days actually may be about the same as every other day, but check in. It never hurts to say hello and listen. 5, give service. When my friend Susan's husband died, a neighbor from down the block whom she didn't really know showed up and mowed the lawn. Not just once, but all through that first long summer. He did it the next summer too, and the next. In fact, he's still mowing her lawn all these years later. And she tells the story with a tinge of amazement. You can bring beautiful food or offer to pick up groceries since you're on their way to the store anyway. Show up at their door with a vacuum cleaner. Clean the kitchen. Take out the trash while you're at it. When you're grieving, everyday tasks feel monumental. Helping out even a little can make a difference. And 6, say their name. Say the name of the person who died. While it's tempting to think, "Oh, I don't want to remind them of their person, so I'll try to distract them," it's all wrong. They're already thinking of their person all the time. You can enter into that lonely place with them and keep them company. Say the name. Just a couple more thoughts. Do you worry you'll say the wrong thing? You might. Remember that listening is way more important than talking. And it is entirely acceptable to say, "I have no words. I'm just so sorry." The courage to show up in the face of great sorrow, the pure kindness of caring, is enough. Beloved spiritual companions, finally, just this. Grief is love. Where there is deep grief, there is great love. As lonely as we might feel in grief, we are in the great company of the bereaved. Know that we are never alone. What we have loved and lost will be a part of us forever. Question:
when will I stop crying? Answer, when you run out of tears. Amen.
Thank you to the choir, especially the soloist, beautiful. Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. It's up to us, and our generosity continues to be astounding. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and our beloved spiritual community. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. Today, our gifts will go to support Tibetan refugees, and in particular, the work of Rev Kim's friend, Anila, a Tibetan nun who is building a library and learning center in southern India. Grief is ongoing and comes in all forms. My dad passed away 6 years ago. He was only 69. He had so much more life to live, and he died with a lot of regret and shared this with me during his final days. But it was certainly a lesson learned for me. My dad grew up Catholic, but never had a positive experience in the church. The nuns were not kind to him when he was a child. He felt frustration with the church when the child abuse situation arose. So when I asked if he wanted last rites, he said not really, but then agreed because he knew my mom wanted it. When he passed, my mother insisted on a traditional Catholic funeral mass, and I was to do the eulogy. I struggled as my dad was not a fan of the church, but Rev Kim, thank you, helped guide me and figure out how to say and talk about his faith without making it truly focused on the institution of the Catholic Church. He was a man of his word and had a lot of faith in his family. Thinking of him today, may he rest in peace. Roland Eno, Presente. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to our beloved spiritual community in filling our virtual collection plate. You can give online by scanning the QR code in the order of service. Go to ascboston.org, text your gift, or Venmo at Arlington Street. If you're Zooming, you can mail a check to the church. If you're in person, please use the envelopes in the pews, which can be handed to Rev Kim, Red Beth, to me, or to any of our ushers after the service. Thank you for your generosity.
Oh, the good life, full of fun, seems to be the ideal. Yes, the good life makes you hide all the sadness you feel. You won't really fall in love, for you can take a chance. So be honest with yourself. Don't try to fake romance. Yes, a good life, to be free and explore the unknown. Like the heartache, when you learn you must face life alone. Please remember I still want you. And in case you wonder why, well, just wake up, kiss a good life goodbye. Good life, to be free and explore the unknown, like the heartache. When you learn you must face life alone. Please remember I still want you. And in case you wonder why, well, just wake up, kiss a good life goodbye. Please remember I still want you. And in case you wonder why, well, just wake up, kiss the good life goodbye.
Thank you, Joe. Joe's our jazz artist in residence. If you're here in person, Lisa Drapkin will be at the great doors as you leave today, taking orders for delicious Thanksgiving pies to benefit community servings. If you don't know that organization, check them out in JP. There's also an online forum on our homepage at ascboston.org. Let's order lots of pies to support this wonderful organization which delivers hot meals to critically and chronically ill individuals and their families. Thank you, Lisa. There are weekly gatherings in the Zoom room for loving kindness meditation, poetry, yoga, and writing. On Wednesday at 12:30, Professor Helms and Reverend Kim host our literary salon, The Wednesdays, reading American poet Frank O'Hara. Every Wednesday at 4, Rev Kim and Rev Beth host a tea party with a conversation prompt. This week's prompt is, how can you actively honor the people you've loved the most? On Wednesday evening at 6 p.m., all newcomers to Arlington Street are welcome to join the membership team and Rev Kim for the first of our two-part new member class. We'll share stories about our spiritual journeys, and you'll have the opportunity to ask your burning questions. And back in person, for those of you in the Boston area who love to sing, come join the choir. Mark David holds rehearsals here at the church on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. No experience necessary. A reminder that next Sunday, immediately following the service, we'll have a brief hybrid corporation meeting. Information and Zoom room links are at ascboston.org. To attend any of them, you don't have to be a member, you don't have to turn on your video or talk if you don't want to, and they're all free. All are always welcome. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join the virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, please answer yes to the breakout room invitation that will appear on your screen. Rev Kim and Rev Beth will be at the end of the center aisle. If you're here in person, let's greet each other after virtual coffee hour. Thanks to all of you who joined in today's service and to all those who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together. We love you. Our final hymn, you can please rise in body and rise in spirit. Our final hymn is number 103 in the gray hymnal, For All the Saints. If you're using the hymnal, Mark David says verse 3 is on the right, and then we go back to the left for verse 4. Please join us.
Before our benediction, I invite those of you in the Zoom room to please reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square. And those of you in the sanctuary to please raise your hands, palms out. Let's send loving kindness to the people on your left and on your right. Send loving kindness to the people on either side of them. The people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved community. Feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in namaste. I bow to the divine in you. These words are adapted from poet Judith Anderson. The dead have the last word. They say, remember us. You who are living, restore us, renew us. Speak for our silence. Continue our work. Bless the breath of life. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.